So, when I started this channel, I knew I wanted to make funny historical videos. Thing is, history is full of wars, and wars are not funny. They're physical extensions of hatred full of bloodshed, loss, and pain, or at least they usually are. There are plenty of wars in history that involve zero deaths, or at least zero human deaths, so we can laugh at dangerous circumstances because no one actually died, right? Seems about right.
Huesca versus Denmark. So, to figure out how this 172-year war started, we need to head back to 1808-09, when Napoleon was tearing up all of Europe and having a tantrum. Most European countries had banded together to try and get Napoleon to calm down and give up power, but Denmark had sided with the French. A tiny Spanish town called Huescar declared war on Denmark since Spain was part of the alliance to put down Napoleon. The funniest part about it was that Huescar was not equipped to go to war with anybody. They had like 8 guards. And then we all know how the story goes. Napoleon lost, the Treaty of Paris was signed in 1814, and all the wars were over, right? Wrong. Huescar never declared peace and would forget the fact that they were still at war for 172 years. How did they even forget? Hey, look at this war declaration I made. Oh, that's cool. Oye, no me gustas! Well, it looks like everyone is declaring peace. We should do that too. I'll do it later. Anyways, the war finally ended when Vicente Gonzalez Barbaran discovered the old declaration of war in 1981. A declaration of peace between Huescar and Denmark was officially signed on November 11th, 1981, marking the end of a bloodless 172-year conflict. The ceremony was filled with humor, such as the people of the Spanish town putting up signs to warn the Danes of entering enemy territory. After this, Huescar and the Danish city of Kolding became twin cities and remain friendly to this day. Caligula versus the sea. Okay, this one isn't exactly verified, so bear with my paraphrasing. The third emperor of Rome, Caligula, came after Tiberius's reign of terror. People cheered when he rode into the capital, thinking that he would at least be a decent ruler. And they thought wrong. After taking ill and recovering, he began showing signs of cruelty that he had hidden from his time under Tiberius. He would prove to be worse than his predecessor, torture and assault being among his favorite things. He also had a thing for his sister. And children. He was a messed up guy, to say the least. On to the war. Some people say he was mad, some say he had a phobia of the sea, but he was most likely planning to head to Britain. For whatever reason, Caligula sent his men out to the beach around 40 AD near the English Channel and allegedly ordered that they began stabbing the water. That is hilarious to imagine. After defeating said water, his soldiers collected seashells and other pretty things as the spoils of war. With this one, I'm technically cheating since I can't prove other people died, but hey. Roman soldiers stabbing the ocean, what's better than that? Lobster War. Ah yes, lobsters. Spiny lobsters to be exact. So in 1961, these fishermen from France were catching a ton of lobsters off the coast of Brazil. The fishermen there complained about these foreign boats, leading a Brazilian admiral to send out corvettes to check it out. The French were ordered to leave the continental shelf for small boats, essentially telling them to back off. The French argued that lobsters swim, therefore they could take them since the Brazilians said to leave the lobsters that crawl along the continental shelf. Basically, French boats said none and asked the French government to send a destroyer boat for protection. The Brazilian foreign minister considered this hostile, saying, "France has an attitude problem and we are not about to just let them do whatever they want. They will not get them lobsters and we will not back down." The Brazilian government had ships at the ready and sent a destroyer to monitor the French ships, but later took it back to try and de-escalate the situation. The Brazilian president told France they had 48 hours to get out, and when they didn't, a French boat was snatched up by the Navy in January 1962. In April of next year, they were genuinely debating on going to war over some lobsters before they stopped. I mean, I would do it for lobster. Pig War! Alright, the Pig War. Way back in 1846, the Oregon Treaty was made to say what was part of America and what was Canada. The map they made was kinda whacked up, especially along waterways. This led to confusion and fighting. Things turned serious in 1859 when American farmer Lyman Cutler on the disputed San Juan Island had shot a pig he found eating the potatoes he had grown. The owner of the pig, Irishman Charles Griffin, was not too pleased about it. The two got to fighting over compensation for the pig, and the British authorities got involved. They were threatening to arrest Cutler, and other American settlers were calling for their government to send military protection. Americans sent troops as well as the British, to the point where it was 461 Americans with 14 cannons were opposed by 5 British warships, mounting 70 guns and carrying 2,140 men. Both capitals soon heard of these dangerously childish manners and began negotiations to stop things from getting worse. For a short time, both nations occupied the area in peace, and it was finally left alone when the Americans left in 1874. So yeah, wars where nobody died. Thank you for sticking around to the end. If there's something I can do better, leave me a comment. If there's something you like, leave me a comment and like. If for some reason you like me and my channel, consider subscribing, that's up to you. I've got plenty more videos on the way, so feel free to shoot me an idea for another. Next video is probably going to be about the Bible. Thanks again.